You think your dad likes me?
Yeah, what?
Clearly when we had that conversation with dad, he did not like me.
That's not true.
He did not like me. Don't sit here and lie to our viewers.
Hey, my dad was very polite.
No, what?
He was
polite?
very humble.
Polite? Everything he said was disrespectful. He didn't say nothing nice to me.
You and I, we are fly. When we're together, it's forever, it's a fact. Don't care what they say.
Don't care what they say.
I love you anyway.
I love you anyway. You're my best friend. I put that on 10. The one I want and the one I need. I'ma ride to the end.
Till the end.
They don't understand.
It's you and I, yeah, you and I. You're the one I love again.
What's up, PNP gang? Alright, y'all, we back with another video. Before we get this video started, hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, comment PNP gang below. I know we missed the last couple days. Like, it's crazy. Yesterday, we literally shot a whole video, an entire video, from beginning to end, like a 30-minute. It was this video. We shot this video for 30 minutes yesterday, and it was in slow motion.
And no audio.
No audio, in slow motion. Couldn't use the video. We were so annoyed. We had a lot of things to do yesterday, so we shot the video like right at the last minute. We didn't have time to shoot again. Because whenever, I don't know, every time we drop a video late, like if we drop a video like 7:30 instead of 7, we get way less views. We have to drop right on time. So if we can't get on time, we're just not going to drop it that day. That's what we learned. So unfortunately, that's the reason why we missed yesterday. We're upset about it. We were shooting it again, but you know what? It is what it is. Today we got a great video for y'all. Tell them what we got for today.
I almost wish that we actually recorded the conversation, but I feel like, you know, as y'all can see by the title, Phlo did talk to my dad for the very first time, and I almost wished I recorded the conversation, but it was kind of one of those things where, because I haven't talked to my dad in a year, I just felt like the conversation just was more so needed just between us, and I didn't even know that Phlo was going to end up talking to him. It was just more so like me and him catching up, and you know, it had been a long time. And just a little backstory on that, because some of y'all might be like, damn, you ain't talked to your dad in a year? Like, what's up? What's wrong with that? Like, I'm just not really good at being on the phone and keeping up with people and calling people. I've grown a personal hate for being on the phone, just because I feel like it distracts me from, you know, me being focused in life. And I feel like if you're on the phone, most likely you're just either gossiping about somebody, or it's just not really a productive conversation. So I tend to like just stray away from being on the phones, unless it's about money or business or whatever the case may be. Then those are usually the reasons why I'm on the phone. But I find it sometimes, like even when I'm talking to my mom, like, you know, I might talk to her every couple of weeks maybe. I don't like, usually people talk to their moms every day. I don't really, you know, do that. And it's not to say that I don't love my parents or I don't care, but you know, with my life, I have to be focused. And I feel like every time I'm on the phone, it's either some bad news being delivered to me. Oh, such and such, you heard what this happened, and you heard. It's just always like, you know, negativity. And I don't like feeling that kind of energy, because it knocks off my day. It knocks off my my focus. So like with my dad, you know, he can be very I'm not gonna say judgmental, because he's definitely not judgmental when it comes to me. But I feel like sometimes he can be I don't even know if I want to say Debbie Downer, but it's kind of like, you know, sometimes. But
what is Debbie Downer?
Debbie Downer it's like that person that's just like, oh well, what? It's just like a person that's just like always down, and they energy makes you down. You feel me? And so like I feel like at the time, you know, because you know we've been in Houston for about a year now, and I feel like at the time, before I had moved from Atlanta, it was just a lot going on, like, you know, as far as like me moving, you know, we had just got signed. It was just a lot of changes, and I wasn't really ready to like explain to my dad everything that was going on, because I didn't really want to overwhelm him and like freak him out or whatever, because you know that was a big step. Those were big steps for me, and any parent would be concerned. Even my mom, she was like, oh, I don't want y'all to leave. So it was just like a lot. I didn't really want nobody to like try to deter me away from what I was trying to do at the time. It was like I felt like I needed to be able to receive my blessings without anybody being in the way, or without anybody trying to like, you know, cloud my decisions or whatever the case may be. because parents tend to do that. So I'm always the type that I usually like to keep my business to myself, and then after I make my move, then I'll tell y'all what's going on. Like I said, that's just kind of like backstory on that. So I ended up calling my dad. I felt like it was time. And when I talked to him, when I called him, you know, of course he was very surprised to hear from me or whatever. And you know, we caught up, we was talking, catching up and stuff like that. And he had told me that, he mentioned to me that he had a wife. And I was like, oh wow, congratulations.
Oh, you
like,
got married?
Yeah.
I thought you said he was engaged.
No, he said I have a wife now.
Oh, okay.
And so I was just like, oh well, with that being said, like I guess I should tell you my tea, like I'm engaged. And he was like, oh well, who's the lucky guy or whatever. And I was just like, well, and I was just kind of like trying to explain it. He was like, I know. He was like, I know. He's like, I already know, baby. I said, what? He said, yeah, I already know, baby. You ain't even gotta explain. And I was like, how do you know? Like, what are you talking about? And so it kind of like disappointed me and frustrated me just a little bit, because I'm just like, dang, you know, I wanted to be the one to tell my dad that, I wanted to tell him the news. Like, I feel like, and this is another reason why I said, it goes back to what I said about being on the phone, talking on the phone to people, all that gossip stuff. Like, I feel like somebody told him, went and ran and told him, oh, Leia dating a white boy, whatever the case may be. And, you know, I don't like stuff like that, because that creates a judgment, a predetermined judgment on somebody before you even meet them, or before you even, you know what I'm saying, get a chance to talk to them. So I don't know, already in his mind, he probably already had some type of judgment on Phlo, whatever the case may be. But thankful enough, my dad, you know, he was open-minded enough to actually understand my situation. We was talking and I told him, you know, yeah, he's, and I was just trying to figure out, how do you know? Like, who the fuck told you that? Like, that's the kind of shit I don't like. I don't like being taught. Like, I know people gonna talk, but my thing is, let me tell my business. Like, that's why I feel like it was probably somebody from, like, not like somebody from his side of the family, like probably one of my brothers or sisters or whatever. No, my dad's side was probably like one of my brothers or sisters or something like that or whatever. And like I said, I don't know how the message was delivered. I don't know if it was messy. I don't know if it was in a happy way, like, oh, she looks happy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you never know who, when people speak for you, you never know what kind of, like, how they speaking, like what context is coming across as, like how they speaking on your name. You feel me? And that's what kind of frustrated me. I'm like, damn, I didn't even get a chance to tell my dad. Y'all already out here. Like, I know it's been a long time, but like, damn, let me tell him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna tell him, obviously. Like, I'm not just gonna hide it for the rest of my life. That's stupid. So then he finally asked the question, and he was like, so let me ask you something. He was like, what made you decide to go that way? I was like, well, I said it wasn't really so much of going that way. It was like more so of just, you know, the character. Because I had to kind of really explain to him. Y'all gotta understand, like, my dad, he's more so, he's very to the book when it comes to dating outside your race. And, you know, because we're Hebrew Israelites, so he's stuck in like, oh, we should only stick it to our culture and don't date outside our race and stuff like that, or whatever the case may be. But I had to explain to him that it was more so just, you know, his character, and he does accept what we believe. And, you know, he just kind of try to give me a reminder, like, you know, this is, you know, you're gonna always be a Hebrew Israelite. There's nothing that can change that. And, you know, he was like, well, as long as he accepts, you know, Yahweh and things like that, then, you know, he's good in my book, type of thing. So I was like, okay, well, he does. And I was just explaining to him, you know, how he makes me happy. And he was like, yeah, well, as long as you're happy, as long as he makes you happy, then, you know, then I'm happy for you. Because one thing about it is, you know, I'm his oldest daughter, so I'm like his, like, he looks up to, I'm like the one that he kind of holds up to a high esteem. You know, even though I'm his highest daughter from my mom. He does have older daughters, but me and my sister are his only two kids that came up and raised as Hebrew Israelites. His other children, they were more so raised by their mom, so they were kind of raised and they had a different lifestyle coming up. He always held me up to that, you know. And my sister, and my sister, well, he was raised in a minute, but then his mom, their mom, just they kind of like, she was like, no, she just like was doing her own thing. They didn't want to stop eating pork, and they just didn't want to conform to the law. So it was just like, you know. And my sister, she married to a white guy as well. My dad, he was very disappointed about that. He didn't really like the way, you know, that was done or whatever. So I knew that he would feel some type of way about, you know, me doing it, because like I said, I'm like his one, you know, his oldest.
Older neighbor is attached.
attached to our neighborhood. We're actually right. If y'all like wondering why we keep turning, we're actually riding around the neighborhood. Like we like to do this sometimes just to kind of like get a feel of the area, because we're still
like we live in a nice neighborhood.
Yeah, we like to look at the houses.
Actually, this is the nice neighborhood I ever lived in my life. So by far. So we like to look around the neighborhood and see different areas. I take jogs to the neighborhood sometimes. I need to do that more.
The conversation was very unexpected, but expected. I didn't, like I said, I was ready to tell him myself. I didn't know he was just gonna be like, oh, I already know. I'm like, damn, what the fuck? He definitely opened up. He definitely understood, and he respected the fact that I'm still who I am. I haven't changed at all. I'm not deterred or moved by nobody. He was just expressing his happiness for me. So eventually I let him talk to Phlo, and honestly, like I said, I wasn't expecting for this conversation to go the way that it went. So I was very nervous. I was extremely nervous, because I was more so waiting to, like Phlo was saying, that he was waiting to kind of like be attacked. Like I was waiting to be like attacked, like him asking him all these questions and why you love my daughter and but the conversation was actually very emotional. Like as he was talking to him, like I actually started crying. Like it was a very deep moment, you know. And I just don't feel like, sometimes everything ain't for the camera, so I just decided, no, I didn't even think to record it. It was just one of the moments where I was just in that moment, and that moment was just for us. I'm gonna let Phlo tell y'all like his part, how he felt when he talked to my dad. Are you happy how the conversation went?
Am I happy how it went?
Yeah.
Are we gonna, I'm listening to what you're saying. Are we gonna tell the true story or just the YouTube,
what are you talking about?
Because what you were just saying is not how it happens. That's not how it happens.
Yes, it is.
So you're trying to say that you think your dad likes me?
Yeah, what?
Clearly when we had that conversation with Dad, he did not like me.
That's not true.
He did not like me. Your dad does not like me. Don't sit here and lie to YouTube.
Boy, this you pranking.
Don't sit here and lie to our viewers.
He capping, y'all. This must be for the intro or something. He capping.
Girl, your dad completely disrespected you.
Boy, my dad was very polite.
No, what?
He was
polite?
very humble.
Polite?
Talking to you.
Are you kidding me? No, he wasn't.
Okay.
Everything he said was disrespectful. He didn't say nothing nice to me. Wow. She really sitting there capping for y'all. You trying to prank me?
I don't think this is the type of video we need. We can't be playing like that.
Playing like what? I'm being 100% real. He did not like me.
Yeah, I don't think he would like this, because, you know what I'm saying, if he saw a video like this, and that's just disrespectful. So don't even.
Okay, I'm just kidding. Then I was literally about to do a whole prank on her. I was about to do a whole prank on her, trying to act like her dad didn't like me. But you know what? I don't even want to do that, because I feel bad. I don't think he watches our YouTube, but just in case he does.
No, I don't think he does.
Well, just in case.
Hopefully he does.
Just in case he comes across our YouTube, and then he sees this video. Now he like.
Yeah, I could tell he definitely.
It was a great conversation. But I would like to say, just to start off though, that I do understand why really any father would question or have a problem with their daughter being with somebody when they don't know them. I can understand that, especially coming from that, like, you know, I'm white. And I mean, the truth of the matter is, like, and not to talk down upon no white people, I'm white, but it's just that I have met a lot of white people that I didn't necessarily like the things they were saying and doing. A lot of them. I mean, I've met people of all races that have been doing things that I didn't like, you know what I'm saying, I didn't agree with. But specifically white people, like, especially the things we learn in history and just some of the things I've seen people do. Because me being white, sometimes I'll walk in a room and white people will speak differently to me than they would if it was someone else who wasn't white. And I've heard some things that I did not like. So I can understand why he would feel that way. I mean, I don't blame him. I can understand, because he don't know me. He don't know me. I don't know how it was said to him. I don't know. It might have been a negative way. It might have been positive. I don't know. But let's just say it was negative. So he don't know me, and maybe he would said something to him that maybe wasn't the most positive thing. So I can see why he feel that way. So I don't blame him. I don't blame him at all for being unsure of me, or because I did hear the conversation. I wasn't listening that closely because it was her conversation, but I was driving. It was in the car, so I did hear him say something about, like, asking why she dated a white person and stuff. He didn't really. I feel like he didn't attack me that bad though. We had the conversation. It was very positive. You know?
He was, my dad is very spiritual, so he was more so coming from like the spiritual aspect, like letting him know like, hey, we're Hebrew Israelites, you know, we stick to what we believe no matter what. And I understand you're of a different culture, not just because you're white, but you could be any color. It's just the fact that you're, you know, you're of a different, you come from a different culture, you come from a different upbringing. So as long as you're not trying to like, you know, turn my daughter you know, into something else, or as long as you ain't trying to, because this is why in the Bible it says it don't say nothing about it, you don't date us outside your race. It does not say that in the Bible. It talks about do not be unequally, I think it's in Corinthians, it says do not be unequally yoked with those who are non-believers. So that means those who do not believe as you believe, those who do not believe in the same God that you believe. Because in the Bible, what happened was Yahweh had told the Hebrew Israelites that because there was a lot of different cultures that were worshiping other gods, worshiping idols, worshiping golden calves and stuff like that. Yahweh was explaining to, because you know, Israel in the Bible are Yahweh's chosen people. Judah, that's Yahweh's chosen people. So, you know, they were given the law, you know, to keep it and not go against the law at all. So he told them, do not go and intertwine with these other cultures because they're worshiping other gods. They're not worshiping me. And that was the reason. It had nothing to do with white people and all this and because it was black people doing it too. They were black cultures.
I mean, to be real, back in those times, I mean, I'm not no historian, but I don't believe that there was any white people in that area.
I don't either.
In that area, and they may have existed, but they weren't there.
Right. In
those areas, so you know, it didn't have nothing. He was speaking about people who were of probably the same race, or similar race.
Right, the same race or similar color that were going out, and because there were a bunch of people even from you know, the tribe of Judah in Israel. What I'm trying to get y'all to understand is it wasn't about race. It was about not dating somebody who didn't believe as you believe. So my dad was just more so trying to like make sure that Phlo understood that, and he explained to him like, as long as you believe as we believe, we love you, you're my son. He was referring to him as his son. You know, he was like, you can call me and talk to me anytime you want, type of thing. Just, he was more like welcoming. Like, it was a very warm conversation.
Yeah, I do want to say, I didn't really get to say much. I do want to say that it was a great conversation. He seems like a very good dude. He seems very intelligent. He seems like somebody I could talk to, you know, about. So there's a lot of questions I have and things I would like to understand that Leia sometimes can't answer. So I wouldn't mind having someone else to talk to. I mean, overall, I was expecting that, you know, because based on like things, Leia had never introduced me to him. We've been together for a while now. I had never been introduced to him, so I was kind of expecting kind of like more of like a attack, or more of like a
you can't date my daughter,
50 million questions, or maybe even being told I couldn't date her, or and things like that. That didn't happen, you know. So I definitely do appreciate that. We actually were leaving a party. We were at our manager Ebony's party. It was her surprise party for her boyfriend. So we were leaving there and we were driving home. So it was on the drive home. And I mean, I didn't talk to him that long in that conversation, but I talked to him enough to kind of get a vibe. Now, you know, when most people, when they get engaged, they'll go and they'll actually ask the father for their daughter's hand in marriage. Well, I didn't know him, so I didn't have the opportunity to do that. So I actually did speak to her mother and let her mother know. And, you know, her mother knows me well. So, you know, I knew she wouldn't have a problem. She would be happy to hear that news. But I never spoke to him, so that was my first time speaking to him. So if I had knew him, I would have asked him. But it's all good. It is what it is. I mean, that was pretty much me talking to him. I would like to meet him in person sometime. And you know, I don't really like meeting people on the phone. That's cool. I'd rather speak in person. People get a better vibe of you. But overall, I feel like me personally, I have a pretty good aura. People can kind of sense like I'm a good person and genuine. And people, I don't really, very rarely do I meet somebody. I don't know if I could ever remember a time, although you don't hear everything, but I don't remember too many times when I met somebody and came back to me that they didn't like me.
Right.
It's very rare. And I mean, people might do that, and it's probably because they're jealous. But hey, or maybe, I don't know, maybe I did something, I don't know, maybe I was drunk. But 9 times out of 10, I've never really got that. So I feel like people tend to, even if it's through a phone call, they can kind of feel a sense of, you know, goodness. And I feel like he did. He didn't have any pushback. So I'm glad we had the conversation. I'm glad that it went so well. And I was just kidding, by the way, for any of the viewers. I was just kidding. He liked me. There was nothing negative going on at all.
Yeah, it wasn't negative. It was.
I was gonna prank her, but I realized maybe this ain't the time.
Yeah, I was.
To prank.
But I was definitely nervous a lot. You know. But you know, my dad and his side of the family, they're from Alabama, so you know they're really country. They're really like, you know, like I said, they're very to the boot. They just more so just stick to their own kind. You know, country people. That's all they know is just their lone little circle. So, but my dad, I really want Phlo to talk to him more because he's very intelligent, super sharp guy. Like, there's nothing that you can challenge him on that he can't. Trust me, he'll shut anybody down. Like, that man is very sharp, he's very witty, he's very smart, intelligent, he speaks very well. And you know, sometimes that could be intimidating. I didn't really know how to really come at him, and in the conversation it was a lot that I even learned about myself. You know, he was explaining how, you know, how sometimes strict and how sometimes mean he can be, and I'm like, I kind of be like that a little bit sometimes too. And he was like, well, that's a characteristic that you got from me. Like, you know, so sometimes just talking to your parents more and getting to know them helps you learn yourself also. So for everybody else,
she definitely can't be that way.
Yeah.
You try to be all strict and all like that with me. I'm like, girl, you ain't my mom. I ain't got no mom.
I mean, I'm like that with my girls. So
with me too, though. You be trying.
Well, I'm not strict with you. Stop.
Girl, no, I'm saying you be trying to like tell me what to do and all that. I be like,
I'm just very firm on what I believe in. When I feel a certain type of way, I'm very firm on that.
She be trying to be strict. I be like, hell nah. Just so y'all know.
You be trying it too, boy. Be quiet. Well, as you should, because you're the man. But I don't ever try to overstep him as a man. I don't do that. But I do like to have my way.
I'm not saying that, but sometimes she has her moments where she talks to me like I'm her kid. I'm like, girl, who is he?
Phlo's very sensitive. He's sensitive. So if I say something, it comes off. I'm very blunt. I speak my mind. I don't bite my tongue. So like people, my family from New Orleans, like they're very cutthroat like that too. You know what I'm saying? Like my dad said, he's very strict and some like he could be mean sometimes. And I feel like a mixture of those two is just that's just the way that I am. Sometimes I say things and I don't understand it's coming out, you know, offensive or rude or whatever the case may be. I don't mean it like that. It's just that's just my character. I'm very affirmative. I'm very just like, I'm very like, you know, straightforward.
See what it is. I'm gonna tell you what it is. When somebody says, and I do it too though, we all do it. And here's where the confusion comes from. Sometimes we say things and we don't mean nothing by it. We're not trying to be mean. We're just saying it, but we say it with a little bit of extra
aggression.
So and what happens is the person gets offended. Like, what the fuck did I do? Why the fuck you disrespect me? Did I do? You mad at me or something? So now they take offense to it, but in all reality, the original statement wasn't meant to be offensive. But how do I know? And then they say, well, I wasn't meaning to be rude. Like, yes, you were. We don't believe you. And that's where arguments come in.
Yeah, because I don't be believing that. I don't be really meaning to be that way. That's just.
Or she might not believe that. I might say something a little aggressive. And she don't. When I say, I didn't mean nothing by it, she don't believe me. And I think that's literally the reason why couples fight.
Now, Phlo turn red when he means something. I know when he get all aggressive. But anyway, so.
But I just want to just say that, you know, I'm glad that I was able to have a conversation with him. She was crying while I was talking to him.
Yeah, I was.
And I was trying to just, you know, focus on talking to him. I didn't say nothing to her, but it was a good talk, and I'm glad I got to talk to him. And
yeah, I feel so much better now that, you know, he's talked to him and met him. I definitely look forward to more conversations. Yeah. And
I'm still upset that we shot this whole video yesterday and we're reshooting it now. I've been sitting there trying to make sure I said the
remember
hit the same points. I didn't prank her yesterday. That's the only thing I'm glad, because I didn't prank her yesterday. So at least I got that in there, because I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna shoot this video again, I'm gonna turn into a prank. But I didn't want to disrespect nobody. But alright, y'all, we'll see y'all in the next video on Gang.
You and I, we are fly. When we're together, it's forever, it's a fact. Don't care what they say.
Don't care what they say.